to do a short workshop with you all about the Jungle Book, which is one of our favourite projects that we take into our schools. And for this short workshop, what we're going to do is a fun game just to get ourselves moving and get our bodies warmed up. Then we're going to do some work on each of the main characters that appear in the Jungle Book story. And then at the end, I'm going to read you the story of the Jungle Book just for your enjoyment, so that you can see how those characters all fit into the story, the ones that we explored. So the first thing we're going to do together is a game just to warm ourselves up. This one is all about being different kinds of bean. Now the first bean that you are going to pretend to be is a jelly bean. And for jelly bean, I want to see you all wriggle your bodies like a jelly. Ooh. Very good. If I call out runner bean, I want to see you all run as fast as you can on the spot. Ooh. Very good. If I say jumping bean, I think you probably need to jump up and down as much as you can. Fantastic. If I say French bean, then you need to be as chic and classy as a real French bean. I want to see you all say, ooh la la. Fantastic. And the last one I might call out is baby bean. And for baby bean, I just want you to put your thumb in your mouth and say, goo goo gaga. Okay, so I'm going to call out each of those beans randomly and really quickly. So I want to see you beat each of those beans as fast as you can, back and forth between the different beans. So are you ready? I'll join in too. Here we go. French bean, ooh la la. Baby bean, goo goo gaga. Runner bean. French bean, ooh la la. Jumping bean. Jelly bean, ooh. French bean, ooh la la. Baby bean, goo goo gaga. Jumping bean. Runner bean. Baby bean, goo goo gaga. French bean, ooh la la. Well done, fantastic, very silly game. Okay, so for our Jungle Book exploration today, what we're going to do is look at each of the main characters that appear in that story. Now, did you know that the Jungle Book is actually a series of lots of different stories, all written by a man called Rudyard Kipling? It is not the same as the famous Disney animated movie that we're all so familiar with, or even the one that was filmed live action more recently. So the Jungle Book story that you know is quite different to how it looks in the real book by Rudyard Kipling. But the story that we will focus on is the one that you will be most familiar with. It's the story of Mowgli. Now Mowgli was only a baby when he was found by a pack of wolves and raised by them. So he grew up in that family of wolves. And because he was brought up by the animals, he has quite an animal-like way of moving around. Imagine that you were raised by a wolf mother and you had brothers and sisters who were baby wolves around you all the time. How do wolves eat their food? They don't use a knife and fork. So think about how your action would be affected by that way that you were brought up. So I want to see you now think about your body language. Maybe your body would be quite hunched over, a bit like you are an animal, almost like you've got front legs. And you might be quite quick because you might need to be able to run to catch your food or run away from danger. You might be quite good at jumping and climbing as well, a bit like a wolf or another kind of animal in the jungle. So let's see if we can practice moving around the jungle like we might be Mowgli. I'm going to crawl around here. Keep moving around, practice using your body language to see if you can be like a child of the jungle. Well done. Now Mowgli is a little bit cheeky and he does get himself into a bit of trouble. In fact, he runs away, doesn't he, from his wolf family to go exploring in the jungle. And while he's exploring in the jungle, he meets a very friendly brown bear called Baloo, who is a huge, big, furry brown bear, a very jolly character, who shows Mowgli how to pick fruits in the forest to survive on his own. So if you were going to be Baloo the bear, the friendly, jolly, huge, fat bear, think about how that's going to affect your body language. Maybe you need to show that you've got that big, big belly out in front of you, so you need to lean back a little bit, widen your legs to give you a stronger, steadier base under all that weight. Think about the fact that you might move a bit slower as well. And you've got claws and a big jaw for eating the bananas and the fruits in the forest. So let me see you walking around your jungle like you are Baloo the bear. Very good. Much slower than Mowgli, isn't he? I quite like being Baloo. I like that big belly. Fantastic. Good. Okay. As Mowgli explores the jungle with Baloo, he is being tracked and looked after by a kind of uncle character. This character is called Bagheera. He is a black panther. So I want to see if you can change your body language now to be much more like a big cat. Now, when we play animals as human being actors, what we don't want to do is put our hands flat on the floor, because that means our head isn't very visible to our audience. The best thing to do is to keep our upper body up so that our head can be seen by the audience, our facial expressions can be seen. So even though you're being a cat, I want you to keep your arms up to keep your body up, but I want you to give the impression that you are prowling across those branches of the forest jungle. So keep prowling around your space like you're a cat. You're very flexible, agile, you've got fantastic balance, you're very quiet, very good. And you can be quite fierce with those claws. Brilliant. All right, now at one stage in the story, Mowgli gets kidnapped by some very cheeky monkeys. The monkeys take him to their lair, the place where they sort of live, and they kind of try to persuade him to find fire, which they believe will make them more powerful as creatures in the jungle. So these monkeys are cheeky, but they're not necessarily very nice characters. They're quite, not mean, but they kind of manipulate Mowgli quite a lot, and they kind of make life difficult for him. But I still want to see in your body language as a monkey the idea that you could jump and climb and swing through the forest. You've got a cheekiness about you that means that maybe Mowgli thinks you're quite funny to begin with. So think about swinging your body from side to side, those long, long monkey arms, a great energy in your movement as well. Try leaping around your room now as a monkey, swinging from branch to branch around your space. Very good. Lovely work. Now, there are two predators in the Jungle Book story that try to capture Mowgli. One of them is a snake, and he is called Kaa. He's a massive python that swirls around the branches of the jungle. He is huge, and he's got big, big jaws that could easily bite and capture Mowgli and poison him. So I want to see now if you can turn yourself into a reptile. Reptiles are very, very good at moving smoothly around their space. They're able to slither and sneak up on their prey. See if you can make your body language really, really smooth and sneaky. You might want to use your arms actually to kind of extend your body, almost like your arms are the head of the snake. So let's see if you can move around the space that you have, as though you are Kaa, the snake. Lovely. Excellent. Now the final character that we're going to look at is Shear Khan. Now Shear Khan is a terrifying predator. He is the tiger, the king of the jungle. He's absolutely huge. Some of you might know that tigers are the largest cat in the world. So he has a very wide base. He has a huge head and jaws. He can prowl like Bagheera can, but there needs to be something much scarier about the way he moves around. So see if you can think about the way you moved as Bagheera, with those forearms up to keep your body up. But there's something much more scary in his face. See if you can change your facial expression so that you look much more threatening. Let's move around like Shear Khan. Prowling around the jungle, looking for Mowgli, looking for anybody that he could eat. I'm going to pounce now. See if you can get down to pounce. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Pounce! Fantastic character work. Well done, everybody. The story of the Jungle Book. Let's see. Here we go. The Jungle Book. It was early evening in the jungle, and as the wolf pack play just beyond their cave, they come across a man cub, lost and alone. The wolves name him Mowgli and raise him as part of their family. Not all animals in the jungle welcomed the man cub. A tiger named Shear Khan prowled the land. He wants him for his prey. But when the other animals refuse to let that happen, Shear Khan swears he will be back for revenge. For the next 10 years, Mowgli is looked after by the wolves, Baloo the bear, and Bagheera the black panther. As he grows, Baloo teaches him the laws of the jungle, how to tell a rotten branch from a sound one, how to collect honey from the bees, and how to talk to all manner of animals. Bagheera teaches him to think and hunt like the other animals do, but he is always close by in case Mowgli needs protection. One day, Mowgli goes off alone into the jungle, climbing and swinging through the trees. Suddenly, he heard the sound of laughing and jumping high in the thin branches. Before he had a chance to look around him, Mowgli was grabbed and whisked off through the jungle. He was taken by the Bandar log monkeys, who live in the cold lairs, an old abandoned city lost and buried in the jungle. Here they keep Mowgli. They play with him and feed him delicious treats. Meanwhile, Baloo and Bagheera are very worried about Mowgli and head out to find help. They know the monkey people are terrified of Kaa, the rock snake, so they ask him to help save Mowgli. Thankfully, Kaa is very hungry, and once they reach the cold lairs, he is ready to hunt. The three split up, surrounding the city, and as soon as the monkeys see Kaa's snapping jaws, they flee in every direction. As Mowgli grows older, Shear Khan's threat to get revenge becomes more dangerous. He knows that the one thing the animals fear most of all is the red flower. That's fire. And he knows where to get it. He sneaks to a nearby village and steals a pot with fire in it. He calls for Shear Khan, saying it is finally time for them to come face to face. As the tiger prowls around, Mowgli takes his chance. He sets fire to a branch, chasing Shear Khan away, never to be seen again. thank you for taking part in the Jungle Book workshop today. I hope you had a good time and enjoyed the story. If you're interested in finding out more about the Jungle Book story, maybe you could do a little reading around, do some research. Maybe you'd like to make some pictures of each of the characters from the story and write a little bit of a description about each one of them. See what you can find out. Lovely to work with you today. See you again.